What's good, Chiefs Kingdom, and welcome back to the Water Boys channel. As today we will dive into a former Chiefs running back that might hit the open market this upcoming free agency. But before we do dive into any of that, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. As I did mention, it's free agency time. Monday is when it all kicks off, and I will dive into all the transactions, even if it isn't Kansas City related. This is the most fun time of the year where people start finding new homes, start finding new places to play next year, and I will be all over it. But without further ado, let's dive into Kareem Hunt. I know diving into this, it's going to be a sensitive topic for a lot of Chiefs fans because there's a lot of them that will welcome him back with arms wide open. There are going to be a lot also wondering, well, why am I even talking about this? Because he's not a free agent. As of yet, that may be. So, the reason we're going to be talking about Kareem Hunt is because D'Ernest Johnson just got signed to a tender, which means that someone's going to have to trade. I think it's a second-round draft pick if they want to take him away from Cleveland. Now, why is that important? Well, if you look at the depth on the Cleveland Browns running back committee, of course they got Nick Chubb, they got Kareem Hunt, and they got D'Ernest Johnson. And D'Ernest Johnson felt inviolable when Kareem got hurt. Now, he played so well that they want to put a tender on him. Now, it looks like he might have played well enough to where he might be the number 2 back in Cleveland. That means Kareem Hunt's days may be numbered in Cleveland. So he may be a cut candidate and open to this free agent market. Now, that ties everything back to Kansas City, where I think Kansas City, they should be all over it. Now, I know you could be saying, well, he's just optimistic and just stuck in the past. And that may be very true because KC's offense, and we can go back and forth with this, has not looked the same since Kareem Hunt's been gone. Not saying they have looked bad or anything like that, but with Kareem Hunt and that factor in this offense, they were nearly damn unstoppable. And that's even with Alex Smith too. In his rookie year, he led the league in rushing, and then in the second year before everything happened with the incident, he was having another phenomenal year with over 800 yards and I think 5 touchdowns, and he was doing maybe even more than 5 touchdowns. He was doing his thing, and he's also a great back in the receiving game. He is the complete package KC has always looked for, and then it was unfortunate when the incident happened. Now, you'll have Chiefs fans be like, well, he lied to the organization, and the organization wouldn't look back at him again. That's not true, because Brett Veach and Andy Reid mentioned, specifically Brett Veach, since he's the GM, said if the paths ever cross again, we would be open to looking back at a Kareem Hunt. Meaning, yeah, he lied in the situation, and that's what got him cut in the end, but also, too, if Kareem Hunt ends up turning everything around and he becomes an option for KC in the future, they would be open to it. Here's the future. It could happen, and that's where we stand at this point, too. Also, there's other things that we got to be in concern, too, is the injury. Can he come fully back from injury? I think he can. It took him out the rest of the year, and that's why D'Ernest Johnson took his spot. But I also do believe, too, it's not going to be him carrying the workload 100%. I think that's where KC fans are going to get mixed up with it, too. It's like, well, why would we bring him in when we already got Clyde Edwards-Helaire? You could bring back a Darrell Williams. You can bring back a Jet McKinnon. All viable options, and I understand. None of them are Kareem Hunt. Let's just throw that out there. Would you pay more for a Kareem Hunt? Yes, you would. Again, though, they are not Kareem Hunt, and I would love to run with the backs like a CEH, Kareem Hunt, and then Jet McKinnon. You let Darrell Williams get his payday somewhere else, and you have Derek Gore back on the practice squad. That's how I think you should run. And then also, too, you can make Kareem your every down back if you wanted to, or you could rotate out with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he needs to find a way to get rotated in this offense, and he might be that type of back where it's a 1-2 type of thing. And if that's the case, you want a guy like Kareem Hunt. I would prefer Kareem Hunt over Jet McKinnon also, because we don't know if Jet McKinnon can stay healthy for a full 17-game season. He didn't even do it with KC. He was strong in the stretch, even in the playoff run. I want him back on this team, but I don't want a heavy contract. I would rather have a contract towards Kareem Hunt because we know what he can do in this offense. We know he's a pounder, he's a grounder, and he's probably even the best receiving back on this team. But it also lets you see what you can do with the Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Can Clyde Edwards-Helaire, when he came out of college, it was he's the best receiving back, and we haven't seen it. Whether that be Clyde Edwards-Helaire not living up to that hype or the scheming hasn't been there. I'm going to say it's a little bit of both. because scheming hasn't helped him out whatsoever in the receiving game to where he can get opportunities to get open. Also, too, in the running game, he hasn't been a valuable candidate, but also, too, in LSU, he was a good runner, but that wasn't his thing. His speed's not there. For someone his stature, he's strong, but it's not going to pan out towards a 17-game season, which is why you need someone like Kareem Hunt. And like I said, Kareem Hunt, I think he's always been the perfect back. That's why I'm having trouble letting it go on like other fans, because I do miss those days. Because Alex Smith, that one year he was great, and then him and the chemistry of Patrick Mahomes, you could tell when he got in trouble. What was it, week 9 or 10 of that season? The offense sputtered completely, and it ended up hurting them. And now they're trying to get that back, and they haven't found a back to replace him whatsoever. So you're trying to replace a guy when that guy can be on the market. Go and get him. Of course, he's gonna have his long interviews with these interviews are going to go with Clark Hunt, making sure everything is right on track. Now, if everything doesn't check mark off, then of course you don't bring him back to the team. But this is going to be a different interview process if he does make that stages with a Brett Veach, with an Andy Reid, and with the Clark Hunt, making sure, hey, we can't have this happen again. Hey, we need like a clear, fresh start. The resume needs to be reset. But I do believe he can pass that. He did have an incident. I don't remember exactly what it was. If it was, I know it was he was pulled over, but I don't remember exactly what the incident was in Cleveland too. Because that tape where he was all upset saying I should be playing in the Super Bowl and things like that. You could tell he was really depressed and down. It was the year KC was in the Super Bowl and won, and he knew that he blew his opportunity. I think KC is where he belongs. It's hopefully the ship can get rewritten and things like that, because he is the perfect back, and I think it'd be a perfect 1-2 duo with CEH and Kareem Hunt. Of course, I think it would play out like CEH would take the majority of the carries to start the season, but then when you see the Kareem Hunt and how he is and how he used to run and how he used to be, and once that starts transitioning into this Chiefs offense, that's going to be something scary too. And honestly, I would prefer a Kareem Hunt over a solidified number 2 wide receiver. I would run with McCole Hardman. That's how much I trust in Kareem Hunt when healthy, because that's how it was. I mean, Tyreek Hill was doing his thing, Travis Kelce was doing his thing, and then people were scared of Kareem Hunt. And that's what KC needs in this backfield again. And it would definitely change the defensive schemes on the other side of the ball. You wouldn't see those 2 safety highs because you have to respect Kareem Hunt. Right now, no one respects our running game. We need to have a back where they respect it. And I think Kareem Hunt won't be too expensive. I think he'd be around the $3 to $5 million a year, because he's been a backup running back when he's nowhere near it, and he's been playing behind Nick Chubb. He's had his best years when they were in KC, even though he did have an 800-yard season in Cleveland too. You could tell he's still the same runner. We'll just have to see if it's the same after the injury. I think he'll be the same. He's still very young. I love how he runs. He's got that speed and explosion, and then he's never been the one to go off to get tackled on first contact, and that's a thing you need in a running back. And then his rookie game, like that was his only fumble, and then man, he catches the ball like a receiver. And I want Kareem Hunt back on this team more than anybody. You guys let me know in the comments down below, if Kareem Hunt was to get released, would you welcome him back to Chiefs Kingdom, or do you think that's a chapter that needs to be turned and Chiefs fans just need to forget about it? But those comments are open. Also too, like I mentioned, Monday night tomorrow, I will be all over this free agency period, so you do not want to miss out. I'll try to get through every signing. Of course, it's not going to be official, but tampering is up. That means they can talk, they can verbally agree to something, but not everything is official. But I will dive into all of that. So do subscribe to the channel. Do like this video. I will be checking out with you guys, and I will check back in with you tomorrow. Peace.